Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to, unfortunately, a slightly delayed stream of Titans Season 3, Episode 7, the 51%. I'm here with my fellow DC fanboy, Superboy Prime, Bossman. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad you are, man. And I'm all right too, in case people are wondering. Today was the latest episode. Well, actually, it was yesterday, the latest episode of Titans. We're reviewing it today. I thoroughly enjoyed today's episode. You know, the good guys got a win for once in their fucking lives, boss man. Since this season began, you know, with 7 episodes in, and it feels like the bad guys have been winning every episode. And don't get me wrong, I'm the type of guy who likes bad guys winning, but I think we needed some balance. And it was good to see the Titans as a team at the end of this episode, a different team, so to speak, because Blackfire is part of this contingent. But nevertheless, we see the Titans as a team taking out some bad guys. But before we go on about that, is there anything in this particular episode that you liked yourself, mate? And how did you find it overall?
Considering how much I didn't like him at first, the actor who they've got to play Scarecrow has been growing up me week after week after week. Like when he first played him, I think I said to last week to Bobby, and I'll say to you now, when I think of the Scarecrow, I think of somebody who's very skinny, like very gaunt, very, very, very
anorexic.
I don't want to say the word anorexic, but like very skeletal. Not much meat on the bones. Very unassuming. But this guy,
he's just like a real scarecrow.
Is a really stocky guy. But do you know what? Everything he says and does made me think he is a scarecrow, because like everything that the heroes try to do, he turns it and uses it against him. So he's using that psychology background he's got. And plus the thing is like he comes across as way more dangerous than any other villain in Batman's role gallery has ever been portrayed, apart from maybe the Joker in The Dark Knight. And this guy uses everything that they have on him against him. So, and the plus is that like everything he says, like he's not talking quickly. He talks with intent, and like he has a right rhythm to his beats when he talks. He goes, and the thing is that when he talks, you're not really going, oh, here we go. He's actually really, so he's really good. The actor who plays Jason Todd isn't annoying me as much as he used to. It actually is growing me a little bit. I'd also say that I love the chemistry between Blackfire and Connor Kent. I think that they have phenomenal chemistry. I don't know if they're boyfriend and girlfriend in real life, but they seem to have that sort of level of chemistry with each other that, they could get romantic very quickly just because, there's sparks between them. And and that's not, I'm not doing a pun there. It literally is, very, very passionate between them. And also I love the fact that Barbara has more things to do than just wheel herself around and just go, oh, what rest that guy? She gets to like actually do things and you get to see and more that she has more depth. And I think
they've done a twist on Oracle.
Pardon?
They've done a twist on Oracle in this episode. But Oracle is Barbara Gordon, but this time around, Oracle is like the DC version of fucking Jarvis. And
but they already had that in the DC universe. It's got Brother Eye.
And you got Gideon as well, in the Flash series too. But this was Batman. This was Alfred's. This was Batman's version of AI and stuff like that. And hello there, Rose Kirby. Nice to see you. Evening. Hello, Zam Wing and Superboy. Thank you very much for joining us. Rose Kirby. No problem. Rose Kirby, by the way. And when he comes back, I'll mention who you are, Rose. You joined us for the let me remind myself, for the Star Trek thing, didn't you? My mate Jason, aka Cousin Cheeto, he was hosting that particular episode, and I'm glad you ended up joining. Are you a big fan of DC Universe, Titans, and all that stuff, Rose? Just waiting for my mate to come back, so I've got somebody to talk to.
Right. So, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, like I said, I enjoyed it because the good guys got a win at the end. But there was a couple of moments in this episode that which made my jaw drop. Like for a start, we kind of find out, and we kind of put it kind of put like it was resolved. As I mentioned this in my TikTok review, why Blackfire killed her parents, and it's very basically because of Starfire leaving the planet of Tamarin, people losing their shit, and then on top of that, there needed to be a fall guy. That fall guy ends up being Blackfire, and the fall guy also is being created by Blackfire's parents, and so Blackfire's parents are trying to kill her. So it's either kill or be killed. So she ends up killing her parents because they're trying to kill her. It's fucked, but that fair enough. That's how things happen in sometimes, and it's unfortunate that was the case. But once Starfire and Blackfire does that job for that female mob boss, and they bring her son back, she like shoots her son right in the fucking head. I couldn't believe it, man. And I was so happy that Starfire killed her because of that. Were you?
Yeah, like when she like was out to beg that guy to go and see to go and see your mother again. It's like, I'll be there, I'll keep you safe, I'll make sure that you're safe and all this sort of stuff. And then as soon as he goes through the door, it says, she goes poof and shoots him. It's like, oh my god! It's like literally because you don't see going the way that she was speaking before that.
But, like, so happy to see her son.
And it says, right, and we can help you. And literally, like, Starfire burns the fuck out of her. Like, literally, like, she starts to, like, literally, like, smother and stuff. Like, I was like, oh my god. It's literally, that's going to be the most painful way to go I've ever heard of. Literally, you've been burned to death.
I fucking loved it. We needed some justice, but she never got the information she wanted to get out of her. But she didn't care at that time. Justice needed to be served. And it's good to see that there are members of the Titans who are willing to cross the line to kill somebody. They're not all goody two shoes and stuff like that. But all of these people in this episode were trying to find Jason Todd and the Scarecrow. Blackfire and Starfire were speaking to the mob bosses. Dick and Barbara were basically using Oracle to uncover people, and even Beast Boy, he was using his sort of beast powers, like being able to sniff things out, so to speak, around Jason Todd's old room in Wayne Manor. So they were all trying to find them, which was pretty cool. And
I mean, the way they started off when Jason Todd's talking to Scarecrow and he's saying, "Says, I'm surprised that you're not doing anything about it." He says, "Well, I'm not Batman," and he goes, "All right," and then he just he says, "We've got to do this, that, and then he just takes a big gulp of that flaming anti-fate tactic, and he just hits the floor. Says, "Well, I'm not Batman." I'm like, "Oh my god!" That phrase had two different points for the positive and the negative, and I was just like, I mean, because the thing is, the one thing we've not seen this guy do yet, but he talks about, is the fear toxin. I mean, I want to see that in action.
Did he use the fear toxin on Jason Todd?
No, he just used like a sleeping draft or whatever it was.
I'm not sure if we'll get that, to tell you the truth. I think he's going down a different route, but there's very much a mob boss element in Scarecrow this season. He's also becoming the criminal mastermind, because before, every rendition of Scarecrow I've seen is that he's just a fucking nutcase. He's the nut running the nut house, so to speak. Eloquently mentioned by Carmine Falcone in Dark Knight. Sorry, I apologize, Batman Begins. So he's always been a bit crazy, but he's an intelligent man. You don't earn yourself a PhD for being a fucking idiot, unless you're Ben Carson. But nevertheless, he's using his wits now. His time in jail obviously has helped him, because he's learnt maybe some criminal code, so to speak, some criminal activities being in jail and all of that shit. And he seems to be wanting to run things. I don't know what his goal is, though. His goal, is it just anarchy? Excuse me. You think his goal is just to create chaos, Bossman?
Cranes.
Yeah.
I've not quite figured out what his goal is yet. I mean, the thing is that does this because the thing is, Crane isn't totally insane. He does have goals. He just doesn't get to realize them because of Batman's there. Whereas this one, we don't know what he wants to actually do. I mean, does he want to take over Gotham? Does he want to take over the world? Well, ha ha ha. I mean, it looks like he wants to take over whatever that mob that mob
The
group
five
is.
families. Or
Yeah,
they're four
it was a
families
six.
now because fucking Starfire burnt one of them. Rose Kirby, I just want to quickly mention what she's saying here. Just need to tell you that all the Star Trek Day content was wiped and blocked on my YouTube page, all my comments gone. Yeah, unfortunately, when it came to the live streaming of that particular event, Rose, it got blocked on our YouTube channel. Sorry, I can't help you in your apologize. But yeah, it got blocked on our YouTube channel. But we did do several other videos, reactions to Picard, Prodigy, as well as Strange New Worlds. So yeah. So she says so that's on our channel too. If you want to have a quick look at that. I do love DC, Marvel, sci-fi, loads of other content I can't think of at the moment. Well, at the moment, Rose, there is a show called Titans. We're on season 3, episode 7. I've been watching that myself and Bossman, and as well as cousin Cheeto.
I love the way that they found him. That he actually took actual detective where they couldn't cheat and use Oracle. I mean, the thing is that I wish that was Brother Eye, to be honest with you, because Brother Eye is actually a AI that Batman uses in the the DC universe. So I don't get but I like the fact that it's Barbara who's using it and stuff like that. And plus, I love her chemistry with Dick. It is obviously that they have very strong feelings towards each other. It's just that they seem to want to push Dick. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm saying something rude. But every time
you can call him Richard.
Every time they push Nightwing, it seems like it's like here's a hot chick, try and get laid. Here's Starfire, try and get laid. Here's Barbara Gordon, try and get laid. It's like, come on. I mean, there's got to be.
Here's Dove. Yeah, he banged her too in the previous seasons.
It's like either how. I mean, come on. There's got to be some girl who doesn't fancy him.
Well, he's a serial shagger. Everyone has one, It's like, but I think he pretty much shagged everyone, except for maybe Wonder Girl. I think he was just friends with her, but nevertheless, but back to this particular episode, it was good to see them do some detective work, as you mentioned. Like, you never really understood how they found Crane at the end, but nevertheless, they did. Crane was.
I think it's from that. The things they got from the van, because there must have been trace elements that they found through, the van, maybe like there was some chemicals that were unique to where they were staying. Because you've got to remember that they were staying in the factory, so imagine whether that factory produces a certain type of gas that is local to that particular factory. So I imagine it's that, because when they had that guy with the heart monitor and they went to see him and then Connor just pushes him away, I was like, oh my god, they literally had that guy die. I mean, the thing is that for Hero,
they couldn't save him. Couldn't save him though, could they?
I know that's the thing. That's the thing that was really sad. Is that for heroes they want to save everybody, but they can't. And I think that this entire series has been you can't save everybody. I think that this was a parallel for Jason Todd. That they want to try and save him, but is he unsavable? And I think that this entire series has brought that up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rose, we will be mentioning a lot of stuff in this episode, so we might be spoiling it for you. But I will mention one thing. There's one spoiler, which if you don't want to hear, I'll give you 5 seconds. But the one spoiler I will be mentioning is Scarecrow is in this season, and he is the main villain, I believe.
Yeah, because he's the one who's controlling Red Hood. And the thing is that I've mentioned this to Cheeto a couple of times, and we've disagreed about this. I want to see him in the full bloody Scarecrow get up, because it's not just
I don't
because
think we'll see. I don't think we'll
no,
see
because
him dressed
her
up as a
fans don't
scarecrow.
just because I think this actor, the way he's been acting, could be the best scarecrow we've seen because I think
I think so. I think he's becoming
I
that, in my
think when
opinion.
he suits up, he'll have gravitas because we've been denied it, and this guy's not needed to go full scarecrow, dress up yet. But I think when that time occurs, when he thinks, right, I need to up my game a little bit, he will put it on just to put out his new, fairy toxin that he's got, or put out something else, and he's just like. And I think it'll have much more weight to it because this guy has made us invest in him as over Crane first, and then we'll invest in the Scarecrow.
I don't think we're going to see like a head to toe scarecrow outfit. It's going to be more like Batman Begins with a mask, in my opinion. Some funky mask. I'm sure he's going to get the fear toxin out again because that's predominantly his thing. Having this reverse toxin, which makes people overly brave, is good, but he'll want a backup plan, a contingency plan. He seems to be that sort of person. But by the way, he was fucking with Jason Todd, who I was very surprised, considering he'd been Batman's fucking understudy for a few years, wasn't able to escape from that chair he was in. Because if that was Bruce Wayne, Batman tied up in a chair, he'd be out in 5 seconds flat. But for some reason, Jason Todd couldn't escape. A bit surprised by that, were you?
Not really, because the thing is that he's not as polished. Because the thing is that's what Bruce was trying to tell him is that you're not ready for the thing I want you to do, and I want you to be better and get out while you still can, and not invest yourself 100%. So I think he's not taught him all the 100% tricks of the trade. Sam. Oh, I'll talk then. Yeah. So.
I apologize. I pressed the wrong button. I meant to press this button to show Rose Kirby's message. But you're saying he wasn't polished, so he's not as good. He's not an escape artist like Bruce Wayne
or Nightwing. So I think there's still parts of his training that is missing. Like I mean, I loved it when they go into the factory and all of a sudden you see heroes getting jacked by the flaming grapple hook, and then just going up and then Jason Todd says he's here, and he goes no, and it's the first time that Scarecrow's not been controlled because he turns out, as well as Rose, if you're still listening, sorry, that he's in charge of Oracle. And it's just like, and he's been listening to him, and he's just like, oh, we could have used that against him. It's all right. We can find another way. And I love that. I love the fact that they want to try and make it an even playing field that they can find this guy. And as I said, this Scarecrow, as I said, it is scary. But again, I want to see more of the Red Hood. Really, to be honest,
I was a bit upset because he kind of just when he was getting into his stride, they take the legs from under him. Because he's Jason Todd. Deep down, is not a bad person. Deep down, yeah, and obviously being resurrected and stuff, things have changed with him a little bit. But he's not the type of person to go around and rob a shop. That's not what the Red Hood does. He won't go on the streets and kill people randomly. That's not what the Red Hood does. He is a vigilante who uses guns. And at the end of the day, he sees what Jason Todd is doing. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Cousin Cheeto mentioning his love for fucking Richard Grayson. But yes, he's the sort of person who's realizing that he's being manipulated by the Scarecrow. And Jonathan Crane realizes, because he's one step ahead of everyone, that. But
I think this episode made me was like this really what's the word? Great actor, really great actor with this. What was he saying now? When because like he's giving this speech and stuff like that, and I was like thinking he is Brian Cox from Flaming Manhunter. I mean, we've been comparing him all this time, and it is just like that, isn't it?
He was giving the Hannibal Lecter vibes at the beginning of this season. Informing, well, not necessarily that, but definitely being an informant behind bars. And I believe Hannibal Lecter was a shrink. Am I correct? Yeah. What is it with crazy shrinks? But nevertheless, he was behind bars giving lectures, and because so not giving information, but because Jonathan Crane's a shrink himself, he knows how to manipulate. It's a game. It's a game to him. And now he's being a crime lord too, and he's a stoner as well. Fuck me. He's just so many things. But I think, like, for instance, the fear toxin comes from like somebody who has smoked so much weed as myself in the past. You can get paranoid. 1 minute you're happy, then your buzz gets ruined, and you're paranoid as fuck. I do believe the fear toxin comes from that. How he's reversed it into this bravery toxin, I'm not so sure. It's all fictional anyway. But I do believe he's going to be using that fear toxin as a contingency plan. But at the end of this episode, we saw Jonathan Crane release the Red Hood from his bonds. If I was fucking Jason Todd, I would have killed Jonathan Crane in that moment, because there's no way Jonathan Crane can fight Jason Todd. Jason Todd is a far superior fighter than fucking Jonathan Crane could ever be. He should have killed him, but they escaped together for some reason. Maybe because Jason Todd realizes they're after him as well. But that was a bit weird, don't you think?
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Bandit, how you doing?
But I will say that the
you will say what, mate?
That it is. Yeah, I'm very surprised about that as well. I agree with you I thought he would have killed him, because I would have. I mean, this guy literally knocked him out just for a slight hiccup. Again, that he was in charge of, but yeah, he had to pay the price of being like put into this. But I think he did that on purpose to make him angry. I was like, well, I need him now, so I'll release him from the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's very hard for him to trust. It's very hard for him to trust Jason Todd, or them to trust each other now, because they can't. And they're both criminals. They're both kind of relying on each other a little bit. At the same time, they could stab each other in the back. It's going to be interesting to see where we go. How many more episodes left of this show? I'm just going to quickly find out. Just give me a second, because I feel like we've gone through quite a few episodes already, and I do have a way of finding out. What are you looking at, Bossman? I can hear you doing lots of clicks.
I'm just been. Do you know, like when you get tagged and shit and it just pops up? It's annoying. So I'll just tell the people that I'm busy.
We're only halfway through, by the way. It's
what 13 season?
It's 13 episodes in this season, and we've just done episode 7. So
I think there's a good story being told, which is like, Jason Todd is still a Red Road rookie, and I think Jonathan Crane realised that, because I don't want to call him Scarecrow until he puts the get up on.
Like I said, I don't think he's going to wear the mask. I hope I'm wrong.
No, he's going to wear the full thing.
Yes, I am.
And I think for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to be saved until he needs it, and when he pulls it out, it's because, as I said, the thing is that we get it where the heroes suit up and it has weight. I think we're going to get with a superhero villain gears up and it has weight. So we're going to see him like pull the full, the mask on, the thing on, and we're going to see him, because the thing is that this actor has proven himself to be an incredible Scarecrow. I mean, is he Cillian Murphy? No, but that was a different type of Scarecrow.
I'm going to try. Oh, come on here.
Sorry.
I'm going to show you something. Let's see if she comes. Here she is. Hey, baby. Isn't she good? Look, we're learning together, aren't we?
Okay.
She's eating off my hand. Okay, I'm going to put her back. All right.
So yeah, so the I mean, if I was to speculate what else is going to happen this season, I think that Dick and Barbara are going to re-energize their romance. That's a given. I think Blackfire and Connor are going to get it on, and I think that Jonathan Crane is going to put the get up on before season's end, and I think that Jason Todd is going to get killed again. There you go. There's my hot take.
Well, as we're only halfway through, it's pretty hard to say what's going to be happening. But
No, I'm just guessing, but
no, I agree. I'm going to give you my guesses too. I do not think Jason Todd's going to be killed off. I do think Bruce Wayne's going to return at some particular point. He's been watching from the shadows all this time because he's got a bit of voyeurism. Old Brucey has, and he can't let go. He's too much of a control freak to ever leave the fucking city to kids. As far as they're not kids, by the way, they're adults. But as far as he's concerned, they're fucking kids. There's a lot to it. I think. And by the way, I wanted to mention this regarding Barbara. She's not paralyzed. She's an amputee. Did you notice that?
Yeah, because I think Cheeto mentioned that last time that we did that last time we did this. I think he mentioned it last week that this woman had, because I looked it up on Wikipedia, which Wikipedia, yeah, shit. But apparently she had like a car accident not that long ago, and like it took out it made her an amputee, so like she had to get rid of her leg and stuff. So yeah. So like, and by the way, I think it's excellent that a TV show is putting a disabled actress in a specific role
she's
where
not disabled. She's not disabled. The actress herself.
The fact she got a reason for.
But she's not. The actress herself is
not
but
Barbara Gordon is, because you remember that she was shot in the abdomen. No, she is. She's got one leg.
She's got one though, yeah. But I'm just saying the actress herself isn't, because we saw her in the flashback scenes walking around, making out with fucking with Dick Grayson.
That's a prosthetic.
You think
that's a prosthetic? That's why.
She was doing fight scenes, dude.
You know what I mean? The prosthetic on. She has.
She literally has one leg.
She has one out. The actress herself has one leg.
Okay, fair enough. That's pretty cool. But it looks like
yeah, really, yeah. Well, according to Wikipedia, let me have a look, because I'm sure I read up on this. 1 second.
Is Titans copying Gotham with the gas thing, or even Batman Dark Knight? Well, the gas thing is something that's always been associated with Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane. So, but they're putting a twist on it, Rose. Instead of making it a fear toxin, they're making it a bravery toxin. But it makes you a bit too brave, makes you end up doing stupid things like killing Tim Drake's parents, which is what happened last week, by the way. So
so in 2016, while she was at a farmer's market with her father and her son, a vehicle hit her. Doctors determined the impact injury sustained to right there was beyond repair, resulting in an amputation. So she doesn't have a right leg.
Here's my little baby. Oh, she's flown on top of the cage now.
Is Titans copying Gotham? Not really, because as I said, it's not like the fear toxin. The thing is that the toxin they're using this time is an anti-fear toxin, but they're slinging it round like a designer drug almost. It's this anti-fear toxin is making you brilliant. But I think with the way that Crane moves works, there's something beneath it that maybe makes you more vulnerable, or makes you more psychotic, or makes you more apt for whatever mind control is thrown out there. That's what I generally believe. Because, like, are you going to?
Yeah, we're doing that.
DC find out. I don't. We're going to go, but we're going to probably do a show for it. Yeah,
we're going to do a show for it for sure.
I mean, after the Halloween the animated series, I imagine that's going to be.
I'm expecting to see trailers for The Flash. I'm expecting to see a trailer for Black Adam.
I imagine that we're going to see a proper trailer for Suicide Squad.
We're already seeing
the game.
Suicide Squad. Here you go. Come here. Sorry. Come here. Sorry. Yeah, have some food. All right. Yeah, sorry, I apologize. But yeah, we're gonna see trailers for those. I think we're gonna see trailers for some games as well. Gotham Knights. I think we're gonna see trailer for that. I think the Suicide Squad game, the one which will be coming out next year, we're gonna see a
That's
trailer
what we.
for that. I'm not actually that excited.
I want people to see the one for the Gotham Knights or whatever it is. We'll see.
I'm not. I
trailer
don't
for
care
that.
about Gotham. I'm not. I don't care about Gotham
I
Knights.
don't really, I don't either, to be honest with you. But
I'm fed up of fucking Gotham. I
so
really am. I'm fed up of that. And
why can't it be Superman?
I think that's a really hard. I think for developers, it's a really hard game to develop. But I personally want to play the Suicide Squad game. For a start, you're not in Gotham, you're in Metropolis, and you're playing as bad guys as well, which I'm always a fan of. So yeah, I think those are going to be the better games of the two. And on top of that, Gotham Knights, you can only play a 2-player multiplayer, not 4-player multiplayer. Even though you use 4 characters you can choose from, which are which are Nightwing, Damian Wayne's. I think it's Damian. Is it Tim Drake or Damian Wayne's Robin? Regardless, regardless, it doesn't matter. But you can play as Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, or Red Hood. But you can only play 2 at a time.
It'll be to Drake.
But you can't play 4-player multiplayer with Gotham Knights, which, in my opinion, is fucking stupid. Now with Suicide Squad,
you can do that.
You can play 4-player multiplayer, and people don't realize I'm a London cab driver, and just a couple of days ago, I had 2 developers from Rocksteady Games in my cab, and I was fucking asking 1,000,001 questions, and they were very tight-lipped. But what I did get out of them is that Suicide Squad will be 4-player multiplayer. Even if you play on your own, it will be you and 3 bots. So it will be a 4-player multiplayer game, which is going to be fucking awesome.
What do you think about last year's that's going on about what do you think to last year's and that man going on about Batman? What do you mean?
That man going. Yes,
I don't. What do you think about what do you think to last year's that man going on about Batman? What you mean the Batman film?
Oh, you mean no, I'm not bold. Can you see fucking hair there? But no, I think she means about Robert. What the fuck's his name now? His name escapes me. Robert Pattinson, yeah, playing Batman. I think Robert Pattinson is a superb actor.
Plus, he is very tall. I mean, I think he's about Affleck. I think he's about 6'4" or something.
And like most Brits, they're better at playing Americans than the Americans are. So he'll be good at playing the Batman. And once again, we'll have another British actor playing Batman. And once again, the top 3 superheroes in the world, which are Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man is Marvel, but it's not the point. Are all played by 3 British actors. And that is fucking awesome. Titans, should I give it a watch? Yeah, most definitely, dude. First season is not that great in my opinion. But
it's a build up to Trigon coming, which is cool. It's very very like if you ever watched the film Prince of Darkness, it's very much that. But the second one is the second season is better than the first, and this season is better than both of them.
Yeah, this season is the best season because with this season the Titans are a fully established team. There's no more origins, there's no more get together, understanding each other. They are a team by season 3, and that's really what you wanted from the Titans in the first place. And I thoroughly enjoy it for that reason alone. Because the problem with a lot of shows is origins, and they've done the origin story for a lot of characters in the first 2 seasons, but not this time around. I mean, there is an origin story for Red Hood, but you kind of expect that to a degree, and he's just one character compared to the rest. So, but it's very good. I've enjoyed this season a lot. It's definitely the best season of Titans so far. I can't wait for the next fucking episode. Anyway, Titans, yeah, should I give it a watch?
Yeah, absolutely, you should give it a watch.
Yeah, so
But just know that it starts off a bit slow because they're introducing everybody, but then it goes better as the seasons go on. Uh, we called in what we called in Walmart Alfred
Alfred.
at the very end. He was going about, but man, it was about 12 minutes before he showed a 2 minute trailer of Batman.
Who the fuck is Walmart Alfred?
Don't know.
Is that like a personal joke? But we called him Walmart Alfred at the very end. He was going about, but Batman. It was going for 12 minutes before he showed a 2 minute trailer of Batman. Walmart Alfred. Is that you talking about? You know who's playing Alfred in the Batman? It's Andy Serkis.
Okay, I could see that.
But I wouldn't like to ever call Andy Serkis Walmart anything.
No, because he's a
Andy
great
Serkis,
actor.
he's fucking phenomenal. I loved him as fucking Ulysses Claw in fucking.
Well, actually,
Batman.
his best roles. I don't know if you've seen this film, Sam, but he did 24-Hour Party People. He played Martin Hannett, and he was so good as Martin Hannett.
I've seen clips of that on YouTube. He's
What's the
very
title?
a very self-centered musician. Is that the one?
No,
Yeah.
he plays. I think he's like is it like one of the co-owners of Flaming? The same music company that Flame Tony Wilson's channel. If I can't remember it top of my head.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm looking forward to seeing him in more stuff. I personally want Andy Serkis to drop the fucking mocap suit. I want to see Andy Serkis now. He was so good in fucking Black Panther. I can't wait to see him play Alfred. It's a totally different role for him. But yeah, he's just the dog's bollocks. I love the guy. So I got you. Excuse me. All right. So anything more to say, my son, before we wrap this up?
so where would you rate this as part of the good bad episode? I'd rate this as maybe like middle top. I wouldn't say it was the best episode, but I would consider it was the worst to say like middle-ish towards the top end because it had pretty good stuff in it.
Well, before I rate it, I just need you to answer me a question. What happened to Lady Vic? Did she die last week?
No, she just fucked off.
It's like you bring this crazy bitch called Lady Vic. How do you watch season 3? Well, you can watch it the way I watch it.
We can watch it. You watch
Soap
one or two on
Days.
Netflix.
Yeah. Use this site. All right, one second. There you go. Use this site. Remember for pop-ups though. Pop-ups galore. Well, there you go. Watch everything you want to watch on that. Everything. Anything. And that's the site for it. Don't say I'm not there to help you guys.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Fair enough. Regarding how I rate this episode, not having Lady Vic back was a bit weird. You can't introduce her last week and just for her to fucking disappear this week. I'll give this between a 6 and a 7. I'm not saying it was crap. There were some moments, like I said, when that mafia boss, when she killed her son because he was a fucking FBI informant. When you can tell you've gone too far as a human being when you have to do shit like that. But she did it, and she did it right in front of the. You know what's so crazy? She did it right in front of fucking Blackfire and Starfire. No brains at all. If she was smart, she would have fucking killed her son when Blackfire and Starfire was not there. But no. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 because
I'll give it a 7 as well.
I think really. Yeah,
it's a bit middle score. I'll say middle score.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see the Titans as a team back together again. We haven't seen that since episode 1. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be giving it. Okay, so let me see if I can grab little Miss Birdie again here. Here you go, baby. Oh, no, she's not having it. She's not having it. Oops. Come here, sweetie. Oh, she just shat all over my fucking mouse mat. Fucking hell. Ugh. I have to do a little cleanup on R7. But yeah, I'm gonna be. I have to put my bird back in her cage because she's loving life right now, looking at herself in the mirror, and that's what she wants to do right now. Let me see if I can. There she is, looking at herself in the mirror. Isn't she? She loves doing shit like that. Man, at the very end of DC fandom. Man, at the very end of DC fandom, there was an interview at the end. He couldn't stop talking. That's why we called him Walmart Alfred. Who are you talking about? What was the name of the person? Can you give me the actual name? I'm gonna grow shortly. Goodbye.
Yeah, Rose. If you find out what the name is, message it. I'll leave it in the comments and we'll look it up.
Yeah, Rose. Give me the name. Are we talking Andy Serkis? Yeah. Next time.
It could be just what they call the guy.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, she's like loving herself in the fucking mirror right now.
Right, that's all I've got to say. What? Anything else you got to say?
Me personally, no. I just need to clean my mouse mat of bird shit and put my little bird back in her cage. But personally, I've got nothing more to say other than I can't wait for the next episode. Oh, yes, I got a bird. No, I've got one bird, and it's been reflected off the mirror. She's a kakariki. That's the name of the species. It's like a little parrot from New Zealand, and her name is Jadzia Dax. I named her after the character from Star Trek, and I'm just teaching her how to like me by putting food in my hand. I've got all this food here. Yeah, bird seed. And I let her fly around my room sometimes and stuff like that. So, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, we're bonding. Yeah. And the thing is, I had a choice between the bearded dragon and the bird, but I went with the bird because the bearded dragon, my last one, like, even though I loved it to bits, like the electricity cost was way too high. Like, you need to have decent money to have a bearded dragon because you're using high wattage light bulbs and a lot of heating, and that costs a lot of money. I don't need ultraviolet lights for my little Jadzia here. Do I, sweetheart? Do I? Look at her. She's like loving. She's loving her little this thing here. This red thing. I use it to cover the fucking. Yeah, my bearded dragon was cool. Yeah, a long time ago, 7 fucking years ago. But I gave it a break, and it's been 7 years now since I last had a pet, and now I've got myself a parrot, and I want her to start saying fuck, cunt, shit, wanker. It's gonna take a while, but hopefully all the swear words will be coming out of her eventually. But yeah, she's gnawing on her nightshade. So yeah. All right then, guys, I'm going to be back later on today on this website. I'm just going to quickly post it here on the chat. Just give me a second. Okay, this is where I'm going to be at 4 a.m. UK time. I'm going to be here. This is the website. It's No Budget Productions. And I'll be working alongside a guy called Frank, who owns this channel. And I also work on this YouTube channel as well. That is not some link virus. That is No Budget Productions. You can click on that. That's legit. Subscribe to them, bandits. You'll see me there quite often. I'll be there at 4 a.m. And I'm going to be getting myself some beauty sleep now because I got to wake up in a few hours so I can do this YouTube video. I'll be live doing some Star Trek stuff. So yeah, doing Star Trek stuff live. Rose, I know you love your Star Trek. So my sweetheart, make sure you're there for that. What is the link I sent before? No, this. I didn't send a link before. Did I send a link before?
Yeah, that was for the Titan show.
Oh, the link I sent before is for any television show, any movie you want to watch. You can use that link, but be careful of pop-ups. But this YouTube one I'm sending right now, this one, that is where I'm going to be at 4 a.m. UK time. So make sure you catch me on that. Bossman, sorry for holding you up. I do apologize. Yeah, okay. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. Let me just put my lovely face back on the screen. NerdTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to us. We are the greatest YouTube channel of all time. Why? Because you don't want to be watching pop-ups. You want to be watching the stuff that channel that link I sent you earlier provides. You don't want pop-ups. You want the good stuff. Okay, so yeah, make sure you subscribe to NerdTube and all of that bollocks. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. We'll see you cunts later. Bye-bye.